Hey everybody, it's me again. I'm gonna post an update. I actually got a whole entire page done in a matter of 2 days on my off days, so I was thoroughly happy with that. So this is the second page, which is actually the third page of the comic. I wanted to do that next because of the way the framing was, so I wanted to make sure I could pull that off because the second page is actually a fairly simple page, it's just a bunch of boxes. But this one involves some kind of interesting, some tricky storytelling, so I wanted to make sure I could do it. And I did, and it came out awesome. Hopefully when I ink it, it'll come out just as good. I'm really happy with that. I started the next page. My third page was actually the second page. I just kind of got it boxed off like this. You can't really see it. There we go. Yeah, I just got the boxes marked off of where everything's going to go. Hopefully I can start drawing it tomorrow. Um, that's all. That's kind of all that's going on. I did like I said, I'm happy. I got the whole page done in 2 days, which is a whole lot less than the first page. First page took me a little over a week to do, but I had to kind of get in my groove and see what was going on. The for comic for this week is The Wicked and the Divine. It's by Gillen McKelvey. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And Wilson Coles. I only read these two, the first two chapters, and essentially it's about every generation, the gods, different various gods, come in and they kind of take over people's bodies. And it's always like young people, like 16, 17, 18-year-old. And they only have the bodies for 2 years, and then the bodies are dead. Um, it's very unique. It's essentially what happens in these two chapters is one of the gods figures out that if he kills another god, he gets more powerful. Kind of like Highlander, there can only be one. But so he's killing off gods, and the other gods are trying to figure out who's killing them off because they only have a limited time to begin with, and they want to use their time to do whatever they want. The artwork is very impressive in these two. I've started the third chapter, and it's a different artist, and I'm not sure I like them as much, but the artwork in the first two chapters is phenomenal. The gods come back and they become like pop gods, like pop stars and rock stars and stuff, and there's a lot of inspiration from famous people like Bowie and Prince and things like that. So it's very cool to see the artwork, and since it's all digital, they use a lot of effects like smoke effects and when they use their powers and things like that. So it's very interesting, very cool if you're into that kind of thing. I actually have a question this week. The question is, how does your interest in other media, such as film, influence your artistic technique? And do you take influence from filmmakers or cinematographers when considering the framing of your images? So the first part, my interest in other things, I'm pulling interest from other stories for this one that I'm working on now. A lot of post-apocalyptic stuff, um, like Walking Dead, The Road, things like that. Walking Dead, the comic, not the TV show. But I'm pulling a lot of story influences from that and kind of the look and feel of the book, maybe, but I'm trying to do something different. So some of that. As far as the way the images are set up, in this current one anyway, most of my influences are coming from other comic book artists and the way they tell their story with the page and things like that. There is another story I have going on in my head. I have a beginning and an ending. I have to work on the middle. Um, but that's very Finchian, I guess that's a word. It's influenced by David Fincher style, and if you're not familiar with his movies, they are like Fight Club and Seven, uh, things like that. So that story, the imagery I want to go for when I actually finish this and am able to move on to this one that I'm thinking of, I'm hoping for kind of that kind of feel for the comic. This will be the first time I'm trying for a particular feel and a very specific look for the comic. So we'll see what happens. I'm not there yet. Like I said, I got to figure out the middle. I got a beginning and I got an ending. I just don't have the middle parts. So we'll see what happens. There's also 2 other stories I have in my head, but they're kind of vague right now, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I make it work, I make it work. If not, then I'm just gonna go to the wayside. But yeah, definitely. Uh, yeah, definitely for this second one I have, it's gonna have a very specific tone and feel, and it's gonna be. Hopefully, if I can pull it off, it'll feel like a David Fincher movie. Just because if this were a movie, I feel like this would be one of his movies. Not saying that it's good. I'm good enough to write like that, but yeah, a lot of comic book artists, the way they set up their stories in on the page, and I want to say movie directors to an extent for right now. But that's just because the comic I'm working on, the influences are coming from other sources. So if that answers your question, hopefully, add more questions. We'll get them all answered. I like to keep these short just because I do these after I get off of work and I want to go to bed. Plus, I like these being informal. I always hate the formal blogs because this doesn't feel like a vlog. It just feels like somebody spent a lot of time and effort to set them up. Whereas I don't like that. I like just this kind of off the cuff stuff. So if you have any questions about anything else, leave a comment. Also, I posted a video. I want to say Thursday. I don't remember. Wednesday or Thursday. It goes into more detail about why I don't like using grids and why you probably should not use the grid style if you're trying to develop um, trying to learn how to draw and stuff like that. So if you have a question for that as well, you can leave them in the comments or any other my other social media. You can even message me if you want, and I'll talk to you guys later.